Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Brenda Bauer, and I'm so excited to welcome you to episode 1 in our series of the Healthy Living Revolution, where we're going to talk about trending health topics, things that maybe you're Googling or are keeping you up at night or, just causing a little pain in your life. And today's topic is preventing colds and flus. I'm so excited. What we'll do is I'm going to share a little bit of my experience. We're going to watch a video by Dr. Temple, and then my friend Melanie is going to share her story at the end. So I used to get sinus infections several times every winter, like probably close to monthly, maybe not quite that much. But it was like I would get a head cold, and then it just felt like my head didn't drain. And then the next thing I knew, I was on antibiotic, and I really kind of thought that was normal, right? And then a friend told me how to flood my body with fruits and vegetables. And our bodies have just this amazing ability to heal themselves when we give them the right nutrition and the right environment. I cannot remember the last time I was on an antibiotic, but I bet it's getting close to 8 years. So that's just a testament to what our bodies can do. But also as a mama, I love that I have this tool in my toolbox because my girls are 13 and 11. They have had one round of antibiotic between the two of them in their 13 years. We rarely get colds. They'll get sniffles, they'll get sneezes, they'll get itchy throat, but they don't go down, they don't not feel good, they don't miss school, they don't miss the fun activities. And I love that because I don't know about the other moms out there, but nursing sick kiddos is my least favorite mom hat to wear, right? Like I love cooking and talking and building relationships and watching them grow and develop. I don't like runny noses. I just don't. So that makes it something that I'm super grateful for. So we're glad you're here. I know you're going to get some information and some value out of what you learned today, and I am going to kick it off with the video. Share screen, share computer sound, and here we go. Somebody give me a thumbs up once this gets going that you can hear okay and everything looks good.
Welcome to the Healthy Living Revolution Live. My name is Courtney O'Donnell. The Healthy Living Revolution is a movement of people who are taking healthy back, and we're offering this series to bring some simple solutions and simple education. Our speaker for this episode is Dr. Anna Maria Temple. Dr. Temple is an integrative pediatrician who has built her own practice here in Charlotte, North Carolina. She is currently studying for her functional medicine degree at the Cleveland Clinic. She received her medical degree from UNC Chapel Hill. Her focus is more on wellness and less on medicine. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Temple.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Courtney, so much for your wonderful introduction. And I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you about ways to prevent the cold and flu. We know that is that time of the year, and everybody is running around stressed over what to do and how to prevent getting sick, especially during the holiday season. So I'm going to share with you a few tips on what to do for you and your family. So here we go. Let's get this going. All right. Well, these are cold and flu viruses, and we know they're circulating around us pretty much all season long. So a couple ways that we prevent them from even getting into our nose and into our mouth is, number one, we're going to be washing hands. And one way to teach our children to wash hands is going to be to sing a little song like the Happy Birthday song, or sing ABCs while using soap and water for their hands. Please beware, do not use any antibacterial soaps as they have a carcinogenic ingredient in them, and stay away from hand sanitizers. Those are also not good, and in the medical literature are showing to increase our risk of getting actually sick. The other thing we need to do is cover our mouths with our elbows. When we sneeze or cough, we're spewing billions of virus particles out into the air. It only takes about 10 viral particles to enter someone's nose or throat in order for them to get sick. So please cough in your elbow and teach your children to cough in their elbows. Okay. So now we discussed that. Let's talk about what happens when the virus particles enter our nose and throat. Well, we have the antigens. Antigens are the viral particles. Let's call it the flu. So the flu is in bright orange and our antibodies are blue. Stay with me, getting a little nerdy, but it's really important to understand the basics of the immune system. Then the antibody, which in this case is of the tan, binds to the flu virus, which is green, and it tells the macrophage to eat him. So the macrophage cell eats the virus. And this is a quick summary of how the immune system is working. So our job is to make tons of antibodies and tons of macrophages. This will keep the flu virus from invading our body. So now, if we look at the schematic, forget the syringe, there's nothing to do with that. What we want to do, when you're getting the flu virus, for example, or cold virus, whatever, the flu or the cold is the virus that's replicating and creating more and more of itself. Our body needs to make more and more antibodies, and our goal here is to have more antibodies than viral particles, so we don't get sick or we have a really short illness. All right, now, things that were going to help us create more antibodies. Reducing our stress. Stress is a known causer of decrease in numbers of antibodies. So we looked at college students and actually swabbed their cheeks and looked at the IgA levels, which is a form of antibody. They showed a significant decrease in the number of IgA antibodies in the saliva of college students during periods of stress. They compared the same students during periods of non-stress. So that's just one example how stress can actually immediately reduce your immune system. So if you think about your children during exam time and why are they always seem to be getting sick, especially my college students and their lifestyle and also the stress around exam. There was also more studies, but that's beyond the scope of our talk here today, that shows that chronic stress actually leads to cancer, autism, asthma, allergies, and I can go on. But the point here is we're talking about immediate stress, short-term stress, and cold and flu. We also have some more stresses that come into our lives. So I thought I'd share some of them with you to draw your attention to these items. There's 3 types: physical, chemical, emotional. In the physical stress, right, if we're getting in an injury on the sports field or in a car accident, the body has to heal before it can take care of the cold and flu virus. If we look under the physical algorithm a little bit lower, you'll see sleep. Lack of sleep is a tremendous negative stressor on our body, and it also prevents us from mounting the appropriate immune response against cold and flu viruses. Chemical stress. The number one reason that we are filled with chemical toxins in our body is from these items we call food. Now, if you go, no, we've strained our lives and we are no longer eating those kind of foods and we're eating fruits and vegetables, the question is, are you spraying them with Roundup, which is an herbicide and a pesticide? And you say, no, Dr. Temple, we are eating organic fruits and vegetables because we've heard you talk before. Excellent. Are you spraying your yard for those pesky weeds? What about your local park? What about the YMCA? Roundup has a chemical, glyphosate, in it, or glyphosate, I always mispronounce it, that is been deemed a carcinogenic by the World Health Organization. What does that mean? The World Health Organization has now enough evidence to say that Roundup causes cancer. So please stop spraying this in your yards and start pulling some weeds. And emotional stress. We are under continuous pressure to take care of the kids, wash the dishes, clean the house, have a job, come back, make sure the kids go to their sporting activities, they do their homework, the dinner's set, house is neat, and so on and so forth. Thousands of tasks. Our teenagers are doing thousands of AP classes, honors classes, volunteer work. A lot of our high school students are doing thousands of these things for their college application, and they don't even want to do any of these things. So we are doing a very poor job as adults teaching our children to not have emotional stress. which is a huge detriment to our immune system, especially during the holiday season. Let's talk about Christmas cards, Christmas parties, school gifts, neighborhood parties, which are all fun and good until you have parties every other night, going out with your friends every other night, having to wrap 1,000 packages and on, right? During the holiday season, sometimes it seems like we're more stressed than enjoying it, and that leads to sickness. Just saying. All right, speaking of sleep, my favorite. Did you know that getting less than 6 hours of sleep at night quadruples your chances of getting a cold? That means 4 times more. How much sleep do children need? So here's a handy dandy graph that you can view briefly on how many hours of sleep children need. Observe that teenagers are 7 to 11 hours at night. I would say in my practice about 9 hours is what they usually require. They're not getting it, that's what they require. The average teenager gets between 4 and 6 hours of sleep at night. The average adult sleeps with their phone in their room. 80% of adults sleep with their phone in their room. 10% of them sleep with their phone in their hand. Really, people? Everything I need to know I learned in preschool. Sleep is important. If you don't make sleep a priority, you will get sick this cold and flu season. Fitness. Let's talk about fitness and exercise. What's that got to do with it? Here's a lovely graph that I love that shows how your risk of getting a cold or an infection decreases as you increase the intensity of your workout. Now observe, inactivity means sitting down, not doing anything. In fact, inactivity is the new smoking. People who don't do anything have much higher chances of getting cold and flu and also cancer. Moving on. If you have medium, so what is medium activity? Means between 30 and 60 minutes activity a day, means walking in the park, doing yoga. You can certainly do CrossFit, but that's not necessary. Observe that in the elite competitors, the ones that work out hours a day, nonstop at the gym, that actually starts decreasing your immune system. So beware of your physical activity. Moderation is the key. Here's an example. Walking your child to school. 1 mile of walking each way equals 2/3 of your daily recommended 60 minutes of physical activity. So walking back and forth to school, you're 2/3 there. This is a favorite. What fits your busy schedule better? Because I hear this all the time, how busy people are. Exercising 1 hour a day or being dead 24 hours a day? Food for thought. Let's talk about food. Food is our genetic code. When we eat food, the minerals and vitamins and antioxidants in the food tell our body how to build cells. So if we feed our body this, which by the way, here we're going to dispel a myth. There's no such thing as junk food. There's junk, which is this, and then there's food. The worst thing we've ever done is put a nutritional label on junk. And now we're implying that junk has nutritional value, right? And you say, what? That's not, okay, well, how about this? When we go to the store and you pick up a label, you're looking at the protein. Okay, good protein. Fiber, awesome. Sugar, not too much. Great, chuck it in the cart. Really? What are the rest of the ingredients? Be careful. Your body only understands the language you're giving it. So if you're speaking in junk food, your antibodies are going to be garbage and you're going to be plagued by cold and flu all winter long. Remember those kids or those people that have a recurrent cold all the time? They're sick all the time, wondering what their diet is like, or stress, or sleep, or activity level. How does food help us? Well, let's talk about nutrition defined. Food gives us micronutrients like calcium, potassium, vitamin B, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D. If you ever watch any of my social media stuff, you'll hear me talk about these mineral micronutrients all the time and how they benefit various parts of our bodies. We also have macronutrients. We have proteins, carbs, and fats. And healthy fats is what we mean. These are all important parts of the language that the body is looking for in order to have proper immune system. How about antioxidants? Antioxidants are enzymes, vitamin C, E, and beta carotene. What the heck are antioxidants? Well, the way I usually explain it is cells live and repair themselves and die every day. When the cells are doing their usual cell things every day, they create garbage and recycling. Those are called free radicals. Our body makes antioxidants, which grabs those free radicals so we can detoxify them through the liver, through our kidneys, or through our sweat. As we age, our body makes less and less antioxidants. Awesome. This is why folks that are in their 60s are much higher risk of getting illnesses. So it is really crucial for us to get antioxidants from our diet, especially as we're getting older. And also during the cold and flu season, when the body is continuously fighting off this virus and that virus, is producing a lot of free radicals or garbage. And so the body needs a lot of antioxidants to clean that up. Otherwise, it gets clogged up and we look like a hoarder's paradise inside our body. How many servings of fruits and veggies do you need a day? 8 to 13. You may say, what? That's ridiculous. That's from the from the public school, the School of Public Health from Harvard. And you may say 8 to 13, but my grandmother didn't need 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. No, they didn't, but they didn't have the level of stress that we have today. They actually had plenty of sleep. They would work out in the fields all day or work outside. They were moving all the time. They did not put the garbage on their skin that we put in, which we call cosmetics, that are not controlled by the FDA. They didn't have to deal with the pollution that is out there in the environment and all the toxins that are in our water and all around us. So because our life has become so polluted, we now need more fruits and vegetables in order to combat all that is surrounding us. What is the serving of fruits and vegetables? So here's a little chart that I'm going to let you check out. We have, one small apple, half a large apple. We have half a cup of beans, 2 large carrots, 2 large celery stalks, 1 cup of eggplant. Generally speaking, if you're thinking 1 cup of vegetables or fruits, that is pretty reasonable. But we need 8 to 13 of those. Are you getting that? Here's the funny. They say you are what you eat. Well, that's funny because I don't remember eating a sexy beast this morning. Just a little humor for all of you from me, my nerdy self. All right, so this is where Juice Plus comes in. I have used Juice Plus for over 10 years specifically for that reason. Most people, in fact, maybe I know one family that is vegan, and they're actually vegan as in they're eating fruits and vegetables and not carbs. That is very difficult to get 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, because we're talking to have about 3 servings at each meal and then 1 or 2 at each snack. If you're doing that, awesome. Most people are not. So Enter Juice Plus is fruits and vegetables that are vine ripened, grown without herbicides or pesticides, and they're put in powder format in capsules or in gummies. And these help bridge the gap into your nutrition so you can get your 8 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day in order to help you with a cold and flu season defense. And you may say, what? I don't really believe it. Well, that's awesome, because what we have is clinical research. Being a physician, I am a gigantic nerd. And so I did not purchase Juice Plus until I looked at the clinical data. And some of the things popped out and it became on a no-brainer. So I thought I'd share 2 research. The published journals, there are over 32 journal articles for you to peruse in different topics. But today, for the purpose of our talk, we're going to focus on 2 articles that are talking specifically about cold and flu. So the Journal of Nutrition, October 2006, evaluated 59 healthy law students. The study went for 77 days. It was double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled investigation. What the heck does that mean? That means the people taking the supplements didn't know what they were taking, and the people that were evaluating the subjects did not know what they were taking. So nobody knew who's taking what. And this went on for 77 days. The reason I like this study, even though it's a small study, is because it evaluated the actual plasma, in other words, what is in the blood, do these micronutrients actually increase in the blood when you're eating Juice Plus? If we look at the conclusion, we're looking at the fruits and vegetables juice concentrate consumption during the study period resulted in increased plasma nutrients and antioxidant capacity, reduction in DNA strand breaks, and increase in circulating TNF alpha cells. Really important that we actually have blood evidence that Juice Plus is actually being seen in the body. Let's look at another study. British Journal of Nutrition, January 2011, 529 healthcare workers. They're mainly nurses. This was in Germany. A randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study. For all of us nerds, we love this. It was an 8-month period. And the conclusion was the intake of dietary supplement from fruits and vegetables was associated with a 20% reduction of moderate or severe common cold symptom days in healthcare professionals, particularly exposed to patient contacts. So as you can imagine, as a physician, this study really spoke to me when I started taking Juice Plus, because it really validated that people in the industry that is focused on taking care of sick people can actually reduce getting colds. And if they do get a cold, it's going to be much shorter than people not taking Juice Plus. Thank you guys very much for your time and attention. I hope this was helpful.
Hi, my name is Leah Bredehoft, and I'm the mama of 2 happy and healthy kids. But it wasn't always that way. Our health journey began when my now 5.5-year-old son was 19 months old. He developed chronic ear infections, and before we knew it, we had given him 7 rounds of antibiotics over the course of 5 months. Those antibiotics had totally compromised his immune system, and he just kept getting sicker and sicker. And unfortunately, by the time he was 2.5, we were on a daily regimen of 6 different medications because he had developed respiratory complications like asthma and allergies. So every day, my son was taking 2 different inhalers, 2 different antihistamines, a nose spray, and an anti-inflammatory. When you watch your 2-year-old do that and you're giving him a probiotic to try to boost his immune system, vitamins to try to supplement and help out, and watch him be a great eater, you just wonder, what else can I do? Because he's not getting better and he wasn't coming off the meds. So I reached out to a friend of mine who had told me about Juice Plus. And in my skepticism, we only started on the fruits and vegetables. And it was September, I remember, right at the beginning of cold and flu season. And I thought, here we go again. But lo and behold, September passed and he didn't get sick. So did October, so did November, and so did December. He wasn't getting sick. And so I knew there had to be something to these fruits and vegetables, but he still wasn't coming off of those medications. So I reached out to my friend again, and she said, why don't you try including the berry blend? And so we did. And slowly but surely, over the months of January, February, and March, we watched our son be weaned off of every single one of those daily medications that he was taking. And 7.5 months into our Juice Plus journey, our son was completely med-free when our doctors told us that he would be on those meds for the rest of his life. Watching your son go from chronically ill to healthy and thriving is something that has no price. And knowing that your 3.5-year-old daughter, who started getting the nutrition of Juice Plus through my breast milk when she was 5 months old, has never taken an antibiotic, has never taken any kind of prescription medication, and is healthy and thriving. All I can say is that we are forever grateful.
Hi, my name is Angela. My background is in respiratory therapy and naturopathic medicine. I'm also the homeschooling mother of 10 children. And when I first came across Juice Plus, I was looking for something to improve our immune system. We lived life so fully together that to get sick put us out of commission for a month or 2. So I came across the research of Juice Plus and was completely sold that our bodies could benefit from this product. And we got started, but we couldn't put everybody on at the same time, so we were about half on and half off. Eventually we caught a cold and I was pretty disappointed because I was hoping this would be huge for us. And in the end, it was. Those of us that were on the Juice Plus were sick for maybe 3 days. And those of us that were off of the Juice Plus had a bad respiratory bug for about 2 weeks. And so to see that kind of improvement was so fun. I felt like we had our own little population control study going on at home. It was really neat. Now, over time, we have noticed so many more improvements than just our immune system, from no more bleeding gums at the dentist to no more heartburn and increased energy. And the list, I'm sure, could go on. It's just been a wonderful choice for us. So thank you for letting me share.
We would like to encourage you to get back to the person who invited you to view this webinar to learn more. Thank you again, Dr. Temple, and thank you all for joining us.
Okay, awesome. I'm trying to get back to where I can see you guys. Oh, I love technology. It's amazing. I don't know where you are. Okay, well, we get to hear from my sweet friend, Melanie Hurley. I have no idea why I can't see you all. That is crazy. Melanie, we would love to hear your story. Would you take it away, sweet friend?
Awesome. I would love to. So my name is Melanie Hurley, and I'm super excited to be here today. I'm a retired homeschool mom. That was fun to hear from another homeschool mom. I homeschooled for 20 years. I'm a wife to Mike. I'm a mom of 3 and a grandma to 1 beautiful Ruby girl. So I'll take you back over a decade. So I had a baby in my 40s, and by the time MJ was 5 or so, I was waking up every day so tired and achy, and the colds and the flus were pretty common for me. And when I got colds and flus, like Brenda described, I was down. Like I was down for the count on antibiotics and all of that. And so it was just frustrating. You know, I had a lot of joint pain along with that, insomnia, and I thought that was normal. And perhaps it has become normal in our country, but it didn't seem right to me, and it wasn't what I wanted. I mean, I'm a woman of faith, and I wanted that abundant life that God talked about, and I didn't feel like I had it. And the women in my family live into their 90s, so here I am in my 40s at the time thinking, I got half of my life left to go, and it's going to get worse than this. I don't think so. I couldn't settle for that. So I was crying out to God for an answer. I'm like, God, this doesn't seem right to me. There's got to be something. So my aunt called me, and she told me about these crazy little plant capsules. And I thought, well, it sounds crazy to put fruits and vegetables in a capsule. I've never heard of that before. And I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy to me. But I thought, what if? What if it's what I've been looking for? What if it's what's going to give me more of the vibrant life that I've been dreaming about? So sounded more expensive than my Centrum I was taking, but hey, look at what my Centrum was doing. I don't want to badmouth Centrum, but I personally wasn't getting the results that I was looking for. And so I decided, well, let's try it. And so like that other homeschool mom said, we shared everything. So when we got colds and flus, we shared it. It went through the whole house, the antibiotics, the everything, but we also couldn't, we didn't believe in it, so we couldn't afford to start everybody on it. So we decided I was going to be the family guinea pig. Yay. So I started taking it, and it does ship in a 4-month supply. I started taking it around this time of year. And so it's a 4-month supply. By the end of that first box, I was sleeping better. I had more energy, and I went through probably the first winter of my life without getting a cold or a flu, which turned into bronchitis or usually strep throat. And then I'm on antibiotics and that whole thing, which is just really no fun. So that was just the first season. And I thought, hey, this is kind of cool. Who knew that fruits and veggies did that? I sure didn't. I thought that fruits and veggies were just all about making me look better. And I'm all about that. I mean, who doesn't want to look pretty, right? So I kept ordering the next box and the next box, and here I am 14 years later. And 14 years later, oh, by the way, I didn't know it would do that, but I accidentally went down a few sizes. My skin looks better hair and nails. I got off the medication, and I really just don't get sick anymore, you guys. I mean, when I do, I'm kind of really whiny, I'm going to tell you, because I don't get sick. So my daughter is a pediatric ER nurse, and we will joke back and forth if we get a cold that, oh my gosh, I had to blow my nose 3 times today. And she's like, I had to blow mine 4. So it's really kind of sweet. But I didn't realize that getting a cold doesn't have to be normal, that there is a way to add in 30% a day and to help my immune system to fight that better. Instead of just waiting till I get sick and then treat it, I can prevent it. I didn't know that. So I know that now, and I'm so excited because, like I said, my daughter is a pediatric ER nurse. She works in the ER, and she says she gets coughed and sneezed and puked on for a living, and it keeps her healthy, which is amazing. And it's just, my son used to get chronic sinus infections, and those have gone away. I mean, it's just been fabulous. So what I've discovered over the last 14 years is that does not have to be normal. Getting those plants in our bodies every day can make us feel really fantastic most of the time. And doesn't everybody want that? So I'm glad I cried out to God for an answer, and that I found it in this powdered produce. And what if it's what you're looking for too? Maybe it is. So maybe talk to the person that invited you. So back to you, Brenda. You're muted, honey.
Thanks. Technology is my friend. Melanie, thank you so much for sharing. I like how you make everyone around you feel like family. I love the energy and enthusiasm that you bring everywhere that you go. And I absolutely respect how you've made your health a priority, and that you share that with other people too. So thanks for being on and sharing. And one more thing before we cut you loose, I'm gonna share and let you know, I mentioned at the beginning that this is the first in a series that we're gonna do between now and the end of the year. And so the next trending health topic is healthy hormones. This is something that as I get further into my 40th decade, is more and more a priority to me to learn more about. So you'll want to come back next week. That's on Thursday. And then the following week, living in a toxic world. So you heard the doctor today talk a little bit about toxins in our environment and how those affect the body. We're going to go into that in more detail. Fueling performance in young athletes. You know, our kids they're busier now than in any previous generation, and is their nutrition adequate to support that? And then kicking off for December, right? It's the season of holly jolly, but not for everybody. And so we'll be talking about some natural solutions to depression and anxiety, and then asthma and allergies, making peace with your microbiome. And just in time for the new year, we'll be sharing more about a 10-day restart and detox that we get to do. So if you loved this information, I would love for you to invite a friend to come and join you for any of these. And we are so glad that you took the time to be with us today.